Good morning, Catherine. Today is Tuesday, the 5th of November. Remember, the 5th of November. There's a whole big long spiel to that, but I have never seen V for Vendetta. Today is the 5th day of NaNoWriMo. I am incredibly behind in that I am close to 4,300 words, and I should be over 5,000 by now. According to NaNoWriMo.org, I should be finished on the 20th of December, which is not okay. I'm working on it though. I changed my idea for my novel a little bit in that I'm going to do it in a series of letters from the female in the relationship to the male in the relationship, and I'm the narrator. So it's still in second person. So it's still I, you, us, we, all of us together. But now it's a series of letters. So I thought today I would read you one of those letters. It is not the very first one. It is a little farther into it, but I hope that you like it. Honey, the first time you came home late, I worried like a wife. I thought something terrible had happened, that you got robbed in the subway and were lying in a pool of your own blood. It turned out you had gotten lost while photographing couples in a distant park and missed your usual train. I always thought the worst when it came to such things. After a fight, I worried you would never love me the same. You always told me that you loved me more when you saw me passionate. You used to grab my hand and pull me towards you as I tried to communicate my thoughts. You would look at me like you loved every action I ever took and kiss me hard. At first, it surprised me how you could love all the hateful things that came out of the mouth that you wanted to do nothing but kiss. But I knew you wanted more than anything to agree with me and make me love you as much as you loved me. I did my best, but I don't think it was enough for you. Every morning, you woke up before me, early enough to meet the paperboy and make coffee before the sun crept in through the curtains. I always woke up to you humming and the smell of fresh coffee wafting through the air. You never tried to make me get up earlier. Even when we had somewhere to be, you never came in until you could hear me shuffling around, fumbling for the lights to shock my eyes open. I tried to set alarms, but nothing woke me up like the smells you created in the kitchen or the feeling of your lips lightly brushing my cheek. On weekends, you would get up for the paper and your solitary cup of coffee, but then you would return to me. You would open the curtains a little so we could have some semblance of time, and then crawl back under the covers, your arm around my waist and your feet rubbing against mine. You loved it when I would shift back into your body, my head resting just below your chin, my back curling to fit the shape of your chest. You used to read to me. You would find an old book at the shop down the street and bring it back to read. It was never a famous one, only the ones that were forgotten. The lonely books. It never mattered to you whether you could understand what was going on. If it smelled powerful, it ended up in our library. We used to have an apartment. When we first moved in, it was a living space, somewhere to entertain. There was a bedroom, a kitchen, and a living room, as well as a front hall. But then we discovered that each of us had the bad habit of buying more books than we could handle. Nearly every weekend we would head to the shop with books we had read and were donating. We walked the long way through the park to check in on the old man. He was always there, feeding his birds and watching couples like us. I wondered if he used to feed his birds with his wife. I wondered if his broken heart refused to stop beating after she left this world for the next. On our way to the bookstore, you would buy me flowers. It didn't matter what kind. It was usually whatever was in season. But you would buy me a dozen flowers, and by the month's end, our apartment would look like a mix of a library and a florist's shop. When my allergies would start acting up, you would still buy me flowers. But on your way home from work, you would get a box of tissues to accompany them. You were always thoughtful like that. By the time our 6 months' rent was due, we had to buy 2 more bookshelves and sell the couch. We didn't have the room for it, and we figured if we just made a nest of blankets, we would be able to read in comfort. Our friends thought we were inconsiderate. They figured if we couldn't be bothered to have a couch, they couldn't be bothered to come visit. It didn't matter to us. We went to their apartments to gather. I would drink too much, and you would take all my yelling and weak blows to your courage. You would tuck me in and leave Advil and water on the nightstand for when I woke up. I'm sorry. So that's one of the letters. I figured that I would start each of them with a term of endearment, so like honey, dearest, my love, and then end all of them with some apology. So like, I'm sorry. I have one that's, I'm so terribly sorry, because I figured that would be sort of cool to have it where it's like, I still have feelings for you, but we can't work out, and I'm really, really sorry that I'm breaking your heart. Catherine, I'll see you tomorrow.